Morning, everyone. Am I audible, guys? Good morning, everyone. Great. Slowly, people are coming in. We have a set on games and tournaments today, which is going to be a mix of round robin plus knockout. I'm just waiting for a few more people to join because I want to start the timer for this. Okay, I think we will start. So this is a set. We won't have any quiz today as we have a set of questions. I want you to navigate on your own through the questions. So this is the set that we are going to discuss today. Attempt it. You have 10 minutes to solve the set. If you happen to get your answers, please post them in the chat box so that I'll also know how much time you're taking to solve and who's getting it right. In case you're not able to read the letters clearly, you can shift to HT mode in YouTube. The streaming is happening at 1080p. So you can go to up to 1080p clarity to make sure the letters are very clear. We are getting some answers already. Those of you who are joining late, I'm waiting for the timer to get over. I have given 10 minutes to solve this question. Once the timer is over, we'll go through all the questions. If you happen to get your answers, please post them in the chat box if you're there in the live session. Around 2.5 minutes left. Don't get stuck in a question. See if you can pick some question that you can answer. We have got at most 2 answers coming for the set from anybody. Good. The time is up. Let's discuss. So first, to have a quick understanding of what's happening in this set. There are n teams participating in a football tournament. The rule of the tournament dictates that all the participating teams be divided into 2 groups with equal number of teams in each groups. So n is going to be an even number in that case. So they're going to divide into 2 groups with equal. So let's say I'm having 10 teams. Then first they will be divided into, let's say, group 1 and group 2 of 5 teams. So it will be like T1, T2, T3, T4 and T5. Similarly, T6, T7, T8, T9 and T10. There are 5 teams in each of the groups. If there are 10 teams, that's how they'll be divided first. In a match, the winning team is awarded 2 points, whereas the losing team gets 0 points. In case the match ends in a draw, each team is awarded 1 point. The key point to understand here about the points that they get is, in one match, a total of 2 points is going to be scored. It could either be the winning team that takes both the 2 points and the losing team doesn't get anything, or if it turns out to be a draw, both the teams get 1 point each. So no matter what, in a match, a total of 2 points is going to be scored. Either it is all for the winning team or 1 each for both the teams if it turns out to be a draw. At the end of the group stage, based on the points scored, the top 2 teams from each group qualify for the semi-finals. So let's say the teams are written down in the decreasing order of their points, then the top two teams will go into the next stage for semi-finals. In the semi-finals, the 4 qualifying teams are paired for 2 matches, whose winners qualify for the finals. So let's say we are pairing them like this. T1 plays with T6, T2 plays with T7. Now from these 2, we will get 2 winners and 2 losers, right? So the winners from these 2 will play another match. So winner 1 versus winner 2, there will be a match. And the losers from the match that happened here, loser 1 versus loser 2, they'll play another match. Let's read that here. In the semi-finals, the 4 qualifying teams are paired for 2 matches whose winners qualify for finals, whereas the 2 losing teams play for the 3rd position. So this is going to be the 3rd position match. Okay, 3rd position and 4th position. The one who is going to lose this will get the 4th position. The other one will get the 3rd position, the one who is winning. In the finals, the winning team is the winner of the tournament, whereas the losing team gets the 2nd position. So in this match, whoever is winning is obviously the winner of the tournament. The losing team gets the 2nd position. After the group stage, every match is a decider. And in case of a draw, a tie-breaking rule is applied to decide the winner. If 2 or more teams have the same number of points at the end of the group stage, goal difference is checked to rank them. So in this stage, it is possible that multiple teams have the same score or points, but some 2 teams only will go into the next stage. Now that could be based on goal difference. Okay, so the thing that you got to understand here is, it's possible that this team had, let's say, 4 points, this team also had 4 points, this team also had 4 points, but the first 2 could go into the next stage based on goal difference. So it's not necessary that the top 2 teams who are going into the next stage should have greater number of points than the ones which are not going. So this is some amount of general understanding you should have about this set before we can get into the individual aspects of solving this question. Now let's look at the questions one by one. If you have understood this, it should be pretty easy to solve the questions. Okay, the first question, if n is 20, that is, if there are 20 players here or 20 teams here, the total number of matches played in the tournament is. Okay, first in the group stage, these 20 teams will be grouped into 2 groups of 10 teams each. And it is given in the group stage, let's see here, In group stage, each team plays with every other team exactly once. So I'll have to find the number of ways in which I can have teams paired. So 10 C2 matches will be played here. Number of ways of taking any two teams. Similarly, 10 C2 matches will be played here. So 10 C2 plus 10 C2. That is in the group stage. Then some two teams are going to go to the next stage, right? So let's say we have T1 and T2 from group 1 going to the next stage, and T5 or T11 and T10. It's not necessary what number you're going to give for all this. Some two teams are going to come from the first group. Some two teams are going to come from the second group. Now, they are first going to play two matches, right? So there is going to be two matches here. And then for position number 1, there is going to be a match. That's the match between the winner and the winner of these two matches. There is also going to be a match for the loser versus loser of these two matches. That's for position number 3. Okay, this is for winner runner. This is for position number 3. So after the group stage, in the next stage, have they given any name to that? I'll just put it as second stage. Or that is the stage where the knockout format of the tournament is going on. Round robin is basically when every team plays with every other team once. So the first stage, the group stage, is round robin or league stage. The second one is where you look at knockout tournament. So we'll have 2 plus 2 plus 2. In the second stage, I will have a total of 4 matches. In the first stage, 2 times of 10 C2. And what is 10 C2? It is 10 into 9 by 2, and I should multiply that by 2. So I will get a total of 90 matches. So 90 plus 4, 94 should be the answer for this question. I could notice that some of you went with 93. I'm assuming that you missed out the match for position 3. So you got to be a little careful in these questions. See, you crack a question, and because you are not a little careful, you lose out on that question and end up with a negative score. That's absolutely not acceptable. Okay, let's say there are 4 questions and you're able to crack only 2. In that, if one goes wrong because you did not read the question carefully or did not read the conditions carefully, that is not acceptable. Okay, so answer is 94 for this question. Please give me a response if you're there in the live session. Type 1 if you're clear with the first question that we have discussed. Great. Let's move forward to the next question. I think we are having a bit of lag today, more than 10 seconds lag, but that's okay. Okay, right now, please do like this video. I'm just trying to remind you in case you forgot to like, because it helps us to reach more students. So if you think it is useful, please do like this video right now so that we can go forward. Some of you might leave after some time thinking that you will come back to the recording or whatever. So please do like the video. We have around 33 viewers right now. So do like the video in case you are liking the way the session is going. Of course, don't like it if you don't like the way the session is going. Okay, let's look at the second question, guys. Almost no one gave the right answer to this question. So let's see how to approach this question. If a team scoring 6 points in the group stage qualifies for the semi-final. Okay, so that's the semi-final stage, the second one. Then the value of n can be at most. So they're asking us to maximize n. Maximize the number of teams. That's the task here, right? Okay. A team scoring 6 points qualifies. So what I should do is I should try and get these 6 points from maximum number of matches. Because maximum number of matches would mean maximum number of teams, right? So I should try and get these 6 points from maximum number of matches. So that's the first thing you should keep in mind. 6 points from maximum number of matches. That's my target first of all. Try to get the 6 points from maximum number of matches. So let's say we have got T1, T2 and so on. Now 6 points if I have to get from maximum number of matches, I could think of 6 matches from where I could get 6 points, assuming that all the matches turn out to be a draw. Okay, so 6 points if I have to get from maximum number of matches is going to be 6. So if I'm going to take T1 as my team, then there has to be 6 other teams, right? Otherwise I'll not have 6 matches. There has to be 6 other teams. So T1, T2, T3, T4, T5 and T6 and T7. Let's take like this. So if I'm looking at T1, if T1 has to get 6 points, then it could have a draw with all the other 6 teams, right? That looks like we can have 7 teams in the group stage in one group. Okay, the other group also something very similar will be happening. Now they've given that a team scoring 6 points qualifies. Now I need not look at T1 being the team. I could actually look at T2 being that team. Hey, what difference does that make? It makes a difference. If T2 is that team and if T2 is having 6 points, I can assume that T1 can actually have greater points. Right? So first leave T1 out. Let's look at T2. If T2 should have 6 points and assume that T1 is actually beating everybody in the group. So T2 is not winning against T1. So T2 6 points, none of them came from T1. All of them are going to come from some other 6 teams. That's important. They're going to come from some other 6 teams. So T2 is here. T3, T4, T5, T6, T7. I can actually put T8 as well. Right? So T2 is getting all the 6 points from the ones that are below T2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can have 6 teams below T2 right now when I have till T8. So T2 is getting all the points from the ones which are below T2. And T1, we can assume, is winning against everyone in the group. So there are 7 other people in the group. So let's say T1 has 14 points. No problem at all. T1 can actually win with everybody. T2 till T8 could have 6 points each. T2 till T8 can have 6 points each. Means each of them is drawing every match that they are playing. So they can have 6 points, right? And you can say on the basis of goal difference, because it's given here, that if 2 or more teams have the same number of points at the end of the group stage, goal difference is checked to rank them. So I can say on the basis of goal difference, T2 went into the semi-final. So that is the maximum number of teams I can have inside one group. So let's say this is our group 1. Similarly, in group 2 also I can have 8 teams. So that's going to be 8 plus 8, 16 teams. Many of you came up with 14 teams as the answer. Your thought process is right. Okay, if you're getting 14, but you got to look at this. There could be one team which could be scoring really high number of points and that could not be contributing to the 6 points of our team 2. So answer is 16. 8 plus 8, 16 is the answer for this question. Please type 2 if you're clear with how we got 16 as the answer for the second question. Those of you are there in the live session. Great. Let's move to the next question. If a team scoring 20 points fails to qualify for the semi-final, then the least possible value of n. If a team scoring 20 points fails to qualify for the semi-finals, then the least possible value of n. When they say least possible value of n, which means they're asking us to minimize the number of teams in the situation here. Okay, someone is asking a doubt. Why can we not go for T9? Okay, let me just go back. Okay, in this case, someone is asking why can we not go for T9? Why would we go for T9? See, we have T1 with 14, T2, T3, T4, T5, T6, T7 and T8. Now that's how I could get my 6 points each. If I go for T9, I cannot continue to have 6 points each anymore, because the moment there is one more team coming inside, this is going to go up. It will become 6 plus points. Okay, if I'm going to go with the same fashion, it will go with 6 plus points. Okay, you will not be able to give 6 points to all of them if you go for T9 or beyond. That is why I'm not going for T9. Okay, because see, if you look at the whole situation here, if I have 8 teams, okay, there is some amount of points that have to be given to those 8 teams, right? So 8C2, there is going to be these many matches. So 8 into 7 by 2. 28 matches, which means 28 into 2. These many points have to be distributed. Now, the moment you bring one more team into the fray, it's going to increase the total number of points that have to be distributed. And you won't be able to distribute it in a way where these can have 6 points if you're going to bring in T9 inside, because it's going to increase the total number of points that have to be distributed. So that will not enable you to still keep 6 points. That is why we are not going for T9. Is that clear? Someone was asking a doubt, why can we not go for T9? Great, let's move to the next question. Okay, let's look at this one. If a team scoring 20 points fails to qualify for the semifinals, then the least possible value of n. Least possible value of n means they're asking us to minimize the number of teams. So what I should do here is, as the team is scoring 20 points to qualify, I'll have to minimize the number of matches from where these 20 points come. Okay, so my target is minimize the number of matches required to get 20 points. Okay, that's going to be my key. Minimize the number of matches required to get those 20 points. Because if you minimize the number of matches, you're also minimizing the total number of teams here. Okay, so let's see how we can minimize the number of matches with 20 points. They have given a team scoring 20 points, fails to qualify. So that's another important thing. A team has to fail even after scoring 20 points. So if I'm going to take, let's say, T1, T2, and T3, now we are looking at T3. Okay, assuming that I'm writing the teams in the decreasing order of points. Okay, the greatest number of points is going to be T1, T2, and so on. So T3 is what we're looking at, because we're looking at a team that is failing to qualify. So T3 has to score 20 points. Okay, and I'll have to see how do I minimize the number of matches that T3 will play so that it still gets 20 points. Now T1 and T2, I don't want to give more than 20 points to T1 and T2, because the more the points you give, the more the matches you'll have to conduct. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give only 20 points for T1 and T2 as well. Because more the points, more the number of matches, our target is to minimize the number of teams, which means minimize the number of matches. So I'm going to give only 20 points for T1, T2, and T3. I'll have to see how many other teams I should put below so that this 20 points will come from those teams. First of all, among these teams, some points will be there, right? Because they will play among themselves as well. So among these teams, so 3 teams are there. So 3C2, that's going to be 3 matches. So 3 into 2, 6 points will come by matches which will be played among T1, T2, and T3. So we can assume that each of them has 1 win. So other than the matches that are played between T1, T2, among T1, T2, and T3, I'll have to get 18 more points for each one of them. I'm assuming that, see, it can actually go like this. Let's say T1 beats T2, T2 beats T3, T3 beats T1. If it goes like this, then each of them will get 2 points with the matches played among themselves. So another 18 points I'll have to get from outside. See, if you have to get 18 points, and I want to get these points from minimum number of matches so that there are minimum number of teams. Okay, so 18 points from minimum number of matches. Each match can give you a maximum of 2 points. So 18 by 2, 9 matches per team. 9 matches per team of T1, T2, T3, which means I'll have to have 9 more teams here. Otherwise, I only have 9 matches. So T1, T2, T3 plus 9 more teams. That is the minimum number of teams you should have. Okay. So 9 plus 3, 12 teams at least should be there. Otherwise, you cannot satisfy this condition of a team scoring 20 failing to qualify. Okay, so 12 teams. Now that's only in one group. We'll also have another group like that. So 12 plus 12, 24 is the answer for this question. Please type 3 if you're clear with how we got the answer for this question as 24. Good. Many of you got this question right, which is a good sign. There's a bit of lag, so I'm going to wait for your responses. Okay, someone wants me to quickly repeat this 18 points part. Let me quickly repeat that. Please listen once. T1, T2, T3. T3 will have 20 points. T3 is the team that has the highest number of points and still gets disqualified. That's why I'm assuming. Okay. So T3 gets 20 points, and I also want T1 and T2 to get 20 points. Why do I want T1 and T2 also to get 20 points? The reason is the more points I give to T1 and T2, the more number of matches I'll have to conduct. So I don't want to conduct more number of matches because that would also mean more number of teams are required. So I'm giving the least possible score to T1 and T2, which is 20 itself. Okay. And why I am going with this 18 points forward is there are some points that are going to come from the matches played among these three itself. For instance, let's say T1 beats T2, T2 beats T3, T3 beats T1. Now, why am I going for that kind of a symmetry? To make sure all of them need equal number of points from matches that are going to come outside these three. Okay. So some 6 points is going to come from among themselves. So if I remove 2, 2, 2 for the points they got among themselves, another 18 points will have to come outside the matches played among these three. Right. So if 18 points, that is 20 minus 2, 20 minus 2, 20 minus 2. Why 2, 2, 2? Because I'm assuming that they are getting their 2 points each from the matches that they are going to play among themselves. Okay. So 18 more points will have to come from outside, not within T1, T2, T3. So if 18 points are required, and I want to conduct minimum number of matches because I don't want to blow out the number of teams that are going to be there. So I will give maximum number of points per match, which is 2. So 18 by 2, 9 matches have to be conducted. You cannot conduct less than 9 matches for that. So I need 9 more teams which can be beaten by T1, T2, T3. All 9 teams are going to get beaten by T1, T2, T3. So at least 9 teams are required. So 9 plus 3, we will get 12 per group into 2, 24 results. Hope it's clear now. Let's move to the next question. Let's look at this one. If n is 12, find the minimum number of wins for a team which registered the 3rd position at the end of the tournament. 3rd position at the end of the tournament. I'm surprised that none of you got this question right, but okay, it's possible that you missed out on certain things. 3rd position at the end of the tournament. So, in the group stage, it has to first of all qualify to semifinals, right? Otherwise, it will not get into the 3rd position. In the group stage, it is possible that all matches are drawn. Please note, the question is not asking for points. The question is asking for minimum number of wins. Not asking for points, it's asking for wins. So if I assume that all the matches in the group stage for our team, whichever is going to become the third team, is going to be draw, and teams are going to semifinals based on goal difference, then at group stage, our team could have 0 wins. It need not win any match. It could actually draw all the matches. Every match that is played in the group stage, let's assume, is a draw. So all the teams in the group stage are going to have equal points. Some 2 teams will go into the next stage based on goal difference, and our team could be one of those teams. Okay. And when you go to the next stage, then our team has to get 3rd position at the end of the tournament. So when, let's say, our team is T2, okay, and from the other group we are having, let's say, some T11 and T12 qualifying into semifinals. So T2 will lose the first match in the semi-final stage. The semi-final stage, when T2 plays with somebody, it could be anybody. So T2, let's say it's playing with T12, it is going to lose that match. That is why it is even getting into the 3rd position category. If it wins that match, it will get into 2nd position or winner. Right? So it loses that match. But it has to get 3rd position. It cannot end up at 4th, which means the next match, that is a match for 3rd position, it has to win. Okay. It loses the first match in semi-finals. It wins the next match, the match for 3rd position. It wins the match for 3rd position. So our team will have just 1 win in this case. So the minimum number of wins required for a team which registered 3rd position at the end of the tournament can just be 1 win. In this case, as n is equal to 12 is not required. It's not required at all. Okay, if it is going to become n is equal to 20 also, it's going to be just 1 win. Is that clear? So I have taken 11 and 12 here. You might be thinking, how can we have 11 and 12? It doesn't matter. Okay, let's say, okay, in this case, it could be 7 and 8, but that doesn't matter. Even if you make n is equal to 20, you can still have 1 win. Okay, so answer is 1 for this question. Please type 1 if you're clear with how we solved this question. Those of you who are there in the live session. I'm waiting for your responses because there's a bit of lag here. See, okay, this is a good question. Sir, if all matches are draw in group stage, the goal difference for all teams will be 0. How to decide qualifiers? See, the goal difference could be the total number of goals that you're looking at. Okay, so the goal difference could be total number of goals you're looking at. So it need not have a situation where all of them have the same total number of goals. Okay, it could be the total number of goals that a team would have had in the entire tournament. Is that clear? See here, when they say goal difference, it's actually not very clear as to what exactly is the goal difference as well. They are going to apply some complex rules there to try and get it right. That's it. Is that clear, Arjit? Okay, great. So that takes us to the end of the session. So it's a very solid session in terms of maximizing and minimizing. Sir, in 3rd position match also we can have a draw. Let's see. After the group stage, every match is a decider. In case of draw, a tie-breaking rule is applied to decide the winner. If 2 or more teams have the So in case of a draw, a tie-breaking rule is applied to decide a winner, which means there will be a winner. If it ends up to be a draw, they will decide a winner, which means it will end up winning that match. Okay, eventually the team will end up winning that match. So the third position one cannot end up as a draw in the end. Eventually it will be a winner. It's more like a super over or something will be conducted in an IPL kind of situation. And then eventually there will be a winner in that match. That's what they're trying to tell. Is that clear? If goals happen to be equal, they will do something and find out an eventual winner in the match. Okay, great. So I'll catch up with you guys in tomorrow's session. See you guys. Have a good day.